Hey everybody, how's it going? It's time for Tuesday, just after Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast. I'm Average Joe, or Not So Average Joe, as you know. Let's jump right in. Alrighty, so I got a comment on my Wednesday. I was late last Tuesday. I was sick earlier in the week. But it's funny too, because I made Friday's reaction, or spoof cast, whatever the hell you want to call it. I made it and posted it up and listened to it, and I thought, cool. I'm getting more comfortable. I'm starting to not be so even if I stutter, it's more because I just don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Where rather than being nervous or anything like that, it's cool because Bill said in his podcast, his Monday morning cast, he said how doing the podcast, like he said he had to stand up recently. He's still doing his Broadway, his William Shakespeare. So, but no, he was talking about doing the podcast, and he said it helps him, because he's just talking freely and ranting and kind of doing like I'm doing, and I'm doing what he's doing, but and he said it helps him be more comfortable when he's doing stand-up. And anybody who listens to my shit longer than the fanboy comment knows that I have goals beyond this. Obviously, being a stand-up comedian, or being like a level of the comedians that are my idols, or that I fanboy, and I'll get to that in a second. But oh man, where was I fucking going? That fucking fanboy comment, man. So yeah, no, I got it done, and I was real comfortable with it, and I thought, man, I'm starting to sound, at least to myself, I'm starting to sound pretty good. I'm more clear. I get my points across, and blah blah blah, whatever. Felt good about it, and then I got a notification that I had a comment somewhere, and I don't get too many yet, and it made me feel bad because somebody commented last week or the week before and said good morning, and I wanted to put, comment back when I saw it and just say, good morning back. And I thought, I was thinking more like, the people that get a lot of comments, I'm like, we'll wait and see what happens if I get more, we'll see what happens. But either way, now I feel like a dick because that person was just being cool. And I know I always say, write in, write comments, fucking send it to my email or whatever. Whatever, do what you gotta do. But I'll never understand now constructive criticism. Like my first person that commented a couple weeks back, or a month or so back, and that person was like, oh, if you're doing this because you're trying to make a life out of it, get rich and famous, yada yada, you're wasting your time, etc., etc. And I respect that opinion. I don't disagree. It is a lot of time spent for no money, and a lot of people do it, don't make money. I'm not making money, so no, I don't disagree with that first comment. I threw my little roast, or my little jabs back at the guy, or the girl, who I think was pretty sure was a guy, but just in case, I threw my jabs back. But we had fun. They never commented back like I was being a dick or anything, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully it was taken as directed. It was, I was just jabbing back because you jabbed at me, for fun. I'm jabbing you for fun. It's all in respect. And so I'm going to answer the fanboy comment on both notes, because I don't know if it was just jabbing for fun. So I don't want to just automatically jump and assume that you're just being a dick or a troll. So I'm going to start with my response as if you're jabbing for fun. So the fanboy comment was on my Wednesday cast. I took it off just because at first I was getting annoyed. And then I got to the point where I got so annoyed, I actually looked up the definition of fanboy, fangirl, because, I've admitted, I'm like, yeah, Bill's one of my favorite, comedians. But I've also mentioned, I've done an Adam Sandler voice copy thing. I've thrown a comedian's name here or there out. Actually, speaking of that, we're going to see Jimmy Carr next month he's coming to town. Well, actually he's coming to town twice this year, but I decided to go next month. And everybody's got their comedy style, and Bill's got the ranting baby boomer. Well, actually no, I think he might be one of the first Gen X, or very close. But either way, he's got that ranting, the angry dad style, and that's why I relate to that so much, because I had the ranting angry dad, and I got the same anger that my dad had, or has, and that Bill has. I'm gonna say has, because there ain't no fucking way he's easy going, Bill. All of a sudden, it's got to be in there somewhere, buddy. Even if it's deep down, you're not fucking. I don't want to say you're not enlightened. Everybody can learn, but yeah, I feel like somewhere in there, it's still that fucking that guy. Like he said, what was it? Yes, on the Monday cast yesterday, it was fuck. What did he say? The guy there's a guy in an airplane or something, and Bill was talking about I don't know if he threw the seat back or something, and the tray fell on him, and he said he wanted to punch him, but he couldn't, so he was just cussing him out, calling him fat or whatever. Shit, I forget where that was going, where that part was going. Oh yeah, the anger part. No, so the fanboy thing, I had to look it up at first, because I'm like, fanboy. I'm like, if this fucking person who commented listened to any of my shit, you'll see that, the definition said, I don't know, I forget if it's obsessed and excited, or obsessed or excited. But I'll give you excited. Yes, of course, who wouldn't be excited? When I went to the Red Wings game a couple weeks ago, it was fucking fan appreciation night. I didn't know, but I went, got to meet a player and his friends and shit, or, not a current player, but Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion, fucking Darren McCarty. I know he's a regular around the Detroit and local areas, but still, even if he's regular or not, this guy's a millionaire who's held the fucking Stanley Cup 4 times. Well, not even just held, but he's had possession and been able to claim, not ownership, but that he deserved it, that he earned it. So it's like, fuck on that. And then I'm going to see Jimmy Carr in summer, so I don't know if I'll meet him or yet not, but I'm one of those people. If my point, Jimmy's unlike Bill. Well, Bill takes hecklers, but it's more like some random jackass, yells out like fucking, Tuesday night, and then Bill's like, what the fuck's Tuesday night? It's goddamn Saturday. What are you talking about? Are you the asshole that went to the bathroom and missed the story? That's the kind of heckling Bill gets. But Jimmy Carr, from what I see or have seen, he actually invites heckling toward the end of the shows, or some part during the shows. Maybe the whole thing's a heckling, but either way, you listen this far, give me some good heckles for Jimmy Carr. Give me something good I can say. I'm 33, white male, curly, almost black hair, a little overweight, not gonna lie. The whole point, heckling, I'm expecting to have something good to say to him, but I know he's gonna have a quick, I'm gonna be roasted instantly, which who gives a fuck? Just like the fanboy thing. Like I said, at first it pissed me off. I'm like, you just gotta be a troll. You could have just been like, and then you spell shit with an E at the end, like shite. So that's why I'm like, are they trolling me for fun? Because if that's the case, fuck yeah, I'm a fanboy. What? I think I made the podcast, just picked a random comedian, was like, oh, I'm gonna copy this guy, and then I'm just gonna fucking listen to him every week and fucking rag on him and talk shit and fucking do my own shit. No, obviously, if that's the case, then yeah, fanboying. Now, saying obsessive, that's a little creepy. Like the way Bill started his podcast yesterday, when he's like, I've been thinking about you. It made me think of him in the elevator story from a week ago, and he's like, that lady in the elevator goes, is that you? And it's just that's the way Bill starts his Monday morning podcast this week, is, how's everybody? He's always, how are ya? And all that shit. But then it's just, he's like, how's everybody? Something, maybe he said Cinco de Mayo. On that note, happy Cinco de Mayo yesterday, everybody. Hopefully, if you got drunk, you enjoyed it and you were safe. And if you didn't drink, either way, hopefully you enjoyed it and were safe. Anybody who celebrates, I heard it wasn't Mexicans. Like, I heard it was insulting to Mexicans, kind of like St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be insulting, like the green, actually, not the day, but the green. It's like, where did green become Irish or So I heard, I don't know if it's true, but that's why I say whoever celebrates, I don't know, Spanish, Mexican, Spanish, fucking Middle American in general, I don't fucking know. But either way, happy Cinco de Mayo to whoever fucking celebrates it. Whether it's you, me, and Dupree, or if it's just fucking, I don't know. But either way, let's get that out of the way. But, no, so I fucking, now I forgot what I was going to again. Oh yeah, the fanboy thing. So yeah, the obsessive. Like I said, I'm gonna answer it as if you're just trolling me for fun. Because you mistyped and, I don't want to assume the worst about anybody, everybody obviously knows that this is just a bullshit fucking, like I said, I'm average Joe. I work my 40 hours. I do what I can to meet people and to put my name out there. I send emails. Like I said at the Red Wings game, I didn't meet him like at a booth. There wasn't a line and I'm waiting in line, shaking in my boots. No, I saw the guy walking up the stairs and I asked my friends if that was who I thought it was. They said, yeah. And I said, all right, fuck it. Move out of the way. And I blocked the stairs. What is he going to do? He's either going to beat my ass or he's going to say, all right, fuck it. Take the picture real quick. Have a little chat. Same thing with fucking Bill, talking about Fanboy. I'm not sitting here I'm not buying tickets and flying to fucking New York right now. He's my favorite comedian. He just did stand-up upstate, or not upstate, however you want to look at it if you listen to his cast. But either way, I don't quite agree with that full statement. Like I said, excited, yes. Would I love to meet Bill or even Jimmy Carr or fucking Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, Theo Von? The list goes on. There's plenty of fucking funny people, and so yeah, if you're gonna fanboy me on one, just because that's the one I decided to spoof off of or riff off of, and like I said, that's because I relate because he sounds a lot like my dad, which him and I don't have the best relationship, so that's not fanboy, that's for sure. I was when I was little. He was my hero. My dad was my hero growing up. Now, in some ways he is, and in some ways it's like, Jesus Christ, this is the guy that fucking raised me, and I'm not in prison, So, but yeah, let's, anyway, so that's to the fanboy comment. Like I said, if you're trolling just to be a dick, then, good for you, because I'm still going to do what I do. You can call me names, do what you got to, say what you got to say, and life's going to go on. Hopefully you were just having fun. If you are, then, know that I'm just having fun back. And if you're not having fun, then, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but doesn't seem as interesting as mine because I still spend my weekends having fun, my days off. This is my fucking before and after work when I'm bored as fuck, podcast. And like I said, Bill was my favorite comedian. That's why you don't see me doing fucking I'm not copying or responding to Theo Von every week, and I'm not doing fucking Shannon Sharp or all these other podcasts that are out there, Joe Rogan, whatever, because I'm not wasting that much fucking time. I took 30 seconds and thought, okay, who's my favorite comedian? Well, Bill Burr. He's fucking hilarious. I relate to his shit. He acts like my dad. He has got the anger my dad and I got. I'm gonna copy his, but I'm also gonna do my own podcast. And that's where my stories come in if you fucking listen, which makes me feel like you're a fanboy because you'd only know, you'd really know the truth of how obsessive and fucking, all that, fanboyish I act. If you listen to the whole fucking podcast, you'd see that most of the time I'm like, so Bill said this, and here's a story in my life that relates. To me, that's not fanboying. And on the same note, you're telling me you're not a fan of any sports team? You haven't bought a jersey of any sports team? You haven't fucking, you're not into any sport. You're not into any kind of competition. You don't have any favorite singer, favorite comedian, favorite actor or actress. You're full of shit. You're full of fucking shit, dude. If you're gonna say you're not fanboy or fangirl over something else or somebody else. Taylor Swift's got half the world fanboy and girling over her. Fucking, I mean, you're full of shit. So, like I said, I'll take it. Yeah, call me fanboy. I don't care, because you know what? One day this fanboy might actually have a fucking career that takes off, and I don't mean takes off like, rich, but takes off where I can take care of family and friends and live a comfortable life. And at that point, it's like the dick measuring contest. It's like the big truck and the little car. I don't give a shit, because I know, this fanboy, made his mark. But yeah, so, like I said, I call bullshit on that. I think you're a fanboy too. Maybe not of me, but of something. I think everybody's a fangirl or a fanboy of something. But yeah, so I guess that's taken up enough of my my cast for today. Like I said, I got my own shit to talk about. A couple things with a couple friends this week that I couldn't help but notice, and I had to tell you guys, because it's fucking silly, stupid, funny, all of it. So I was on this conversation. A lot of people have the, what does it call it? It's the sleep with one, marry one, and get rid of one. And you got the three you get to pick from. You got like bad choices kind of deal, or maybe three good choices. And you don't know which one you want to. Well, my friend and I don't know where this came from. Oh, we were watching a show. What show was it? Maybe Vikings? Vikings or Orange is the New Black? I don't fucking know. There's like a handful of shows, boredom shows that we watch, but we're watching this show, and there's this girl on the show. Oh no, it was some fucking NCIS or some fucking Law and Order shit. We weren't even watching it. It was just on TV. But no, there's this girl with a kind of decent looking face. But I pointed out, I was like, look at that jawline, dude. I was like, it's like a straight, like a pentagon-shaped face, like the jaw, and then you got the, that sharp curve straight up to the ear, and very masculine, and it's, if she had a butt chin, she would have damn near been like Peter Griffin, but skinny. But no, and then they show her her abs or whatnot, and she's real skinny, but she's healthy. She's an actress, she's not obviously she's playing a part, she's healthy and whatnot, but just, it made me think about it. So I asked my friend, I said, hey, if you had a just to make it uncomfortable, because you can't, like I said, you can't do like, okay, Scarlett Johansson, Taylor Swift, and Jennifer Aniston, like, they're all beautiful, I'd say they're all smart. People that are going to disagree and say Taylor's not smart, but you know what, she made billions of dollars off all your tickets and that fucking Disney movie shit and all the other shit she's done. So somebody, whether it's her or her media crew or something, somebody in that group is smart enough. But anyway, no, so I said, just to make it interesting, I said, you got two women. One is unhealthily skinny. I made it a point to do unhealthy skinny. And the other one you got is unhealthy fat. And I don't mean like thick, like you got a little booty or you got like bigger boobs. I mean, that's why I made it a point to my friend to say unhealthy in both categories to make it fair and, equally extreme, I guess you could say. And he goes, well, I don't want either of them if they're unhealthy, which is a fair answer. So I was like, okay, I was like, that's fine, but you got to pick one to repopulate the earth. It's a hypothetical. We're just bullshitting, having a couple drinks, bullshitting, and so I say, you got to pick one. I'm like, you're repopulating. You got to have kids. You got to try one of them. And he's like, and this is the perfect fucking answer. Maybe he should be the comedian. He comes back, well, if I'm repopulating the earth, then we're fucking, all of us are doing it. Because it's just for babies. And I laughed so hard because it's like, that's fucking true. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, this girl's too skinny. She's, bony. She can't carry a baby. This one, she's real heavy, too heavy, and it might be unhealthy, yada, yada. Or not might be. I said unhealthy. But as soon as he finds out it's not for a relationship, it's just to repopulate, he goes to that typical man answer of, well, anything will do. He's like, I'll do my job to repopulate the earth. And that was fucking great. Because 1 second before, he was like, I'm not fucking touching either of those bitches. Because, like I said, I was telling him you had to pick an unhealthy. But as soon as it's repopulate, now we're at a whole different ball game. Now we're talking, now we're talking multiple sessions, multiple years. We don't care about their health or nothing. Oh, man. It's one of those, like, it comes out of your mouth as you realize you're thinking it. And you hope to God you don't say something fucked up. And then, same friend, we were talking about school back in the day. I forget. Oh, no, so I'm growing my facial hair. I'm up north. In Florida, you grow facial hair. You might as well just say you got a sweaty pube face. Because it's so humid and hot. You're sweating all the time. Not nobody, but I sure as hell didn't want facial hair. But up here in Michigan, it's still in the 60s. It's nice out. So I got a full facial hair growing. And my friend, one of his friends, this girl mentioned something about like, when are you going to start greasing your beard and your mustache? Because I got like a Yosemite Sam going on. Not quite, but if I let it grow any longer, it'll start doing that Yosemite Sam where it kind of does like a curl. Not like the fancy, like the competition mustache curls, but more like the best I can describe it is when you get a really, really heavy person on a really small bed and one of the springs goes boing and flies out of the bed or something. That's kind of what my mustache hairs at the end do. They curl up, but it's not like a universal, like a singular shape curl. It's like one curls up and to the left, one curls up and out like a fucking claw, like I'm a damn scorpion or something. Fucking, it's hilarious. But the friend said, when are you gonna grease your shit? And so we started talking about greasers, and that was the name for the like the greasers and the outsiders, and Stay Golden Pony Boy, and we talked about how we had to read that book and then watch the movie in school, and then we got on the musicals, and I'm not a big musical fan. Broadway's different, a play or a show, not even on Broadway, but a show, a play, a little different. But a musical movie, it's got to be the right one. And so we brought up Grease, and my dumbass, just yesterday or the day before when we talked about it, my dumbass finally realized that's why it's fucking called Grease. It's because the guys, the boys in the movie, I say guys, but they're high school boys, for the movie. But in the movie, the boys are they're greasers. They grease their hair. They got the black, the leather jackets, they're all cool and smoking the cigarette out back, and, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, I was like, all right. It's like it's one of those moments that you feel dumb because the title of the movie, like, where was I for the last fucking 30 years? Because I'll give the first 3 to baby, baby life. You don't really remember. So, where was I for the last 30 years? This was my mom's favorite movie. For my entire life that I had my mom, this was her favorite movie. And never once did it occur to me that the fucking title is because the guys in the movie, like, it's funny. One of my friends back in Florida, one of my good friends, I'm not going to name names or sexes or anything because I don't want to embarrass this person. And they might not care, but either way. One of my friends back in Florida before I moved, when Twisters came out, we saw, obviously Twister, the original in 97, 96, something like that came out, and that was a big thing for my mom and I. So I told my friend, I said, look, I have to go see it. The new one, when it came out, I was like, I got to go see it. It's in honor of my mom because she's passed away. This was one of our biggest things. So, yada, yada. My friend's like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. I'll go, whatever. And we get to the movie theater and we're talking about the storyline. And I'm like, you know, I wonder if this is going to be like a continuation. Are they going to have the same characters and actresses? Or is this going to be like their kids? Or, you know, we're like doing fan speculation. And I was like, you know, because I was like, it's crazy. The girl, you know, in the first one, I was like, it's crazy. The girl went in that storm cellar thing outside. And her dad was holding the door for dear life. And the fucking tornado sucked him up. I'm like, and that, you know, that was the catalyst for the whole movie and why she was so dedicated, and her almost ex-husband had to, you know, fight her back off the ropes, basically, like she was gonna damn near, you know, take her life in a tornado, not on purpose, just studying it, you know, trying to stop him. But, you know, when I mentioned it, my friend goes, wait, the little girl in the beginning of the movie that her dad gets sucked away, that's the girl that chases the storms the rest of the movie? And I was like, yeah, like I said, that's the catalyst. Like, that's not the climax, but that's what starts the whole story. And she goes, I can't believe that I'm, you know, however old, today years old, that I figured out that the little girl in Twisters, or the first Twister, sorry, the 1990s one, was the main character in the rest of that movie. Now, obviously, if you've seen the new one, you know it's not a continuation. They do have Easter eggs like Dorothy and the red Dodge, and so they do pay homage or respect to it. So I like that. But it's different characters, different story, which is all good. Great movie. I'm not bitching. I just think it was funny because, like I said, I learned what Grease was, like the title of the movie. I knew Greasers already, but it never clicked. And but we were talking about that. And we both, like, we agreed we both aren't musical fans. But I asked them, I was like, so, Grease is a musical, but I like it. You know, one of the few I could say I do like. And so I asked them, I'm like, Outsiders, I forget, you know, it's been a little while since we watched the movie. The book obviously isn't a musical, because you're not reading it like, you know, and page 2, they're walking down the road, and page 3, they're crossing railroads. Then page 4, you're on the wrong side of the tracks. Oh no! You know, it's not like that in a book. You're reading it in your own, you know, in your own fucking head and your voice, whatever you like, whatever you hear in your head, you know, for those voices is what you're reading as. So I don't remember the movie. I didn't remember if it was a musical. I asked my friend. He's like, no, it's not a musical. I was like, okay, but West Side Story, damn near, you know, not same story, but similar, but it's a musical, right? And he goes, yeah. He's like, but I thought you didn't like musicals. And I'm like, well, I don't. I'm like, and the only thing I remember in West Side Story is all the guys on the escape racks on the fucking back of the buildings. It's like nighttime, and they all just start and whatever fucking snapping and music they start singing that or whatever. I don't fucking know how it goes, but the snapping as they're all doing the in-sync snapping down the steps. My friend and I both, that's all we remember from that movie. If you ask me right now, tell me a whole background to West Side Story. All I know is I think there's a love story, like a Romeo and Juliet style love story. And all the boys that are like, you know, we're the boys, it's the boys, we're the group, you know, the group of boys that hang out. They did the snapping. A 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, you gonna get the girl. No, I don't, like I said, I don't fucking know what they were singing, but that's the funniest part is my friend, you know, and he's, we're a decade apart in age, and we both don't fucking know that movie besides the snapping down the stairs. But we both know Grease, you know, like Grease Lightning, the song there in the garage, or the fucking, even the girls like to tell me more, does he have a car? The brush your teeth one, the brush and brush and brush, you know, that was one of my mom's favorites. Like, I don't know the songs, you know, wholly, but I know more than just the fucking snap. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know how. It's all around the same age we had to watch and do all that shit. But yeah, so West Side Story just didn't really fit. And then another thing, a couple dumb things that have happened that, you know, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with. It's really fucking dumb. most Android phone owners, I'll say Android, I don't know what Apple has. You probably got some fancy fucking Steve Jobs, weather app or some shit. You probably just fucking point it up at the sky and it tells you like, well, there's that cloud's got 30% liquid in it, yada yada, whatever. I don't know. But if you got an Android, most likely you got the Google shit and you got your weather thing and you click on it and it's giving you like the 7-day weather. And you scroll down, you got like the sunrise, sunset, and the moon, and like random facts, whatever. Point is, down near the bottom, it has pollen, air quality, and driving difficulty. And most days, like the sunny days, I never really paid attention to the driving difficulty. Like air quality is like medium, low, high. It makes sense. It's the pollen, and it's the dirt, and it's all that shit. So it makes total sense, And so we got all that, and I'm like, all right, cool. But then the other day it was raining, and I get in the car, and not get in the car. I look at my phone, and it just says, driving difficulty, wet, W-E-T. And now I know what they mean. I get what they mean. I'm going to open the door here. Sorry if there's background noise, but I had to shut off my podcast studio because I'm going to be going in the store in a minute. I'm going to quit fanboying for a while. But, no, yeah, wet, W-E-T, as a driving difficulty. And I have a past as a racer. My dad did off-road trucks and monster trucks, and then I followed in his footsteps as far as I could go before the economy took a shit in 2008. Well, for the low class at least. No, so yeah, I was confused because even on video games, even a driving video game, you got amateur, rookie, or rookie amateur. Intermediate, pro, all pro, or semi-pro, etc. Like football, like Madden, or NBA 2K, or NHL, 22, 24, 25, fucking whatever game you get. The difficulty levels, nothing says wet. I've never, like even at the racing game, WRC, World Rally Championship, the level is still rookie, like I said, rookie, amateur, intermediate, semi-pro, pro, all pro. But then the driving conditions, you can choose dry, wet, slippery, snowy, etc. This is difficulty, and I laughed so hard because I'm thinking the difficulty is wet. Like, can you imagine you're playing Madden? And it's like, what level are you, man? And it's like, well, I started out a rookie, but then I started scoring like 40-something to 0. So I switched it up, and now I'm a wet level. I'm a wet player. Like it doesn't fit. Or same thing. If you go to a sports game, like go to a minor league baseball game, like, hey, is this a college game or is this AAA? No, this is the wet series. Yeah. And I don't get it because wet's not a difficulty; it's a condition. Like. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry you have cancer. How bad is it? It's really wet, or it's really dry, or it's really cold, like that's not a level of severity. Wet isn't this level of, it's not a, difficult. That's what it was. Driving difficulty, a level of difficulty. Wet does not describe difficult. Like, so I don't understand that. It's fucking stupid. And that wasn't me. Like I said, that's the app. So if anybody could explain that to me, like if there's a 1 through 5, oh, lady, you just dropped something. Oh, now I want to go pick it up. This lady on a motorcycle just rode by and fucking something fell off, and it's in the middle of the road. It's not worth nothing. It looks like probably a fucking glove or a sock. Fuck that. It's pink anyway. Nobody wants pink. Oh, the car just hit it. Yep, it's whatever it is. I'm not going for it. But yeah, if there's, say you have a difficulty 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, somebody tell me where difficulty wet comes in. I mean, obviously, like snow and ice, slippery is higher than wet, so I understand it in that sense. But we're not in that season, And even then, that's not a difficulty. That's just more of like a, hey, be careful. So yeah, I'm kind of interested. And then the last story, probably one of the one of the best ones, because most people can't stand this shit. Self-checkout. I was doing self-checkout the other day at Walmart. Yeah, I shop at Walmart. Like I said, I'm poor, yo fuckers. I'm poor, just like the rest of the poor. But no, I'm at Walmart, and I'm scanning. I'm doing self-checkout, and I think it was it's like fucking cat treats or cat food. It was all cat shit. That's all I needed. It was all cat. That's all I ever fucking do is shop for my cat. But no, I was buying them shit, and I was scanning, and I'm sure a lot of you have gone through this. I scanned an item, and obviously they got all their cameras and their little fucking old ladies staring at you and shit. So it's like you're being watched from like 7,000 angles. So, and I'm not trying to fucking, steal a cat treat. It's like $1.09, or some shit. But I scanned it, and you heard it go boop, boop, like the double scan. And the cameras, you can see yourself a lot of times that the camera's pointing, like it shows you what it's watching. So I looked at the camera, and I pointed at the screen, and I go, scanned it twice. And then I put 3 fingers up, and I go, so, I had 3 of them. I scanned one fine. The second one double scanned. So I put my third one straight in the bag. I looked right at the camera. I set it, and visually with my fingers, I put up the 2 and a 3, and I said, on my second scan, it beeped twice, it charged twice, so I'm putting it straight in the bag. It's on the fucking screen that it was charged twice. So, point is, I go all along scanning more shit, and a lady walks up, and she's like, you forget to scan something? And it's not her fault, but I wanted to be like, no, you forgot how to fucking do your fucking job. Or Walmart forgot how to fucking hire people. Or, their fucking computers are bullshit. But no, I didn't say that. Oh, easy going, Joe. I didn't say that. I just said, no, this item double scanned. It's in there. You can count. Go do it. Go for it. Fucking do what you got to do. I don't give a fuck. If anything, finish fucking scanning. God damn. Because if not, you're going to say I'm stealing. And I'm not paying double for, I don't give a fuck if it's $1 or not. I'm not paying double because they don't want to hire somebody to do your fucking job. Get the fuck out of here, That's why I don't eat a Steak and Shake anymore. Yeah, I'm calling you out by name, Steak and Shake. You fucking used to have a diner feel with waitresses and waiters. Now it's all fucking fast food, push button order. Fuck that. I'm not sitting in a booth so I can get back up and get my own drink. And sitting in a booth so I can get up and ask some fucking asshole that doesn't answer behind the counter for a side of ketchup or mayo, mustard, whatever. No. That was the point of the waiter and waitress. It's not my fault if Steak and Shake didn't pay them fucking good. I tipped good. Which is a whole different conversation, and that's a whole different thing from self-checkout. But no, what the point is, this lady comes up to me and fucking basically, without actually saying it directly, goes, assumes that I'm stealing something. When, if anything, if I would have just checked out and paid and scanned that third item, you'd have been stealing from me, you cocksuckers. Not, like I said, not the person, but the fucking company. But it's just the fact the lady walked up. It's like somebody radioed to her and said, hey, go check this guy because, we don't trust him. And you're the one ripping me off. What kind of shit is that? Yeah, that's self-checkout for you. So anytime I do it, I get it. And then it's funny because it says, do you want your receipt printed, emailed, or no receipt? I say right now, and this is my opinion, I'm going to stick to it. I will die on this hill as long as self-checkout exists. If you don't print the receipt out, you're a fucking idiot. Because you have it emailed or no print, guaranteed they're going to stop you. And they're going to say, well, is your cat litter, did you scan that? Did you scan your 12-pack of soda? Did you scan your beer or your, whatever, anything fucking not in a bag or anything that, it doesn't, I got stopped for $1 cat treat. So print out your fucking receipts if you do self-checkout because these bastards are trying to get you for everything. But on that note, that's all I got for today. Wow, we went a couple minutes in. Man, this is a long one. Look at that, and I didn't even fanboy too much. Barely talked about Bill. But like I said, we're going to see Jimmy Carr in about a month. Anybody listen, like I said, give me something good to yell to him. You know, watch some Jimmy Carr. Give me a fucking, not an insult, but, you know, a good heckle. I need a good heckle. I'll be thinking of it. You think of it. Throw some ideas. Jimmy Carr, coming in June. We're going to see him. We're going to fucking talk to him. Give me something good to say. Other than that, have a good, safe week. You know, safe, healthy, dry. You know, not on fire, not in a hurricane, not frozen, whatever you call it, wherever you live, whatever it matters. Go fuck yourselves. Stay happy. Fucking Bill, go fuck yourself. There's my little fanboy. There's my little fanboy. Where's the commenter at? There's my fanboy moment. Bill, William, Frederick, Burr. Yep, you want to say I'm fanboying because I fucking Googled the person and his full name's on Google. Now I'm fanboying. Is that another fanboy moment? You know I'm just shitting on you, man. You know I'm just shitting on you. But not you, Bill. I mean, I shit on you too, but I'm shitting on the commenter. But yeah, everybody go fuck yourselves. We'll talk on Friday. Hopefully something's interesting. All right? See ya.